Growing up neurodivergent means we often get saddled with this belief in our own inherent inferiority. We come by this by the fact we look at our peers achieving certain life milestones and us falling behind. For example, when I was in year one, I was introduced to basic arithmetic concepts, and I found I was not able to do even basic subtraction or addition. The concept wouldn't just stick in my head. My poor working memory meant that when I tried to do basic, like adding or subtracting, I would just forget in the middle of that what I was actually doing and lose track of numbers. I know now that that is linked to my neurodivergence and that was the reason why, but at the time I would just look at everyone else seeming to master this basic concept and I was failing at it, and therefore there must be something wrong with me. In grade 2 or year 2, I started to look at my peers tying their shoelaces, and everybody else seemed to master this, and I had motor skill differences that made it really hard. It was only until year 3 that I was able to master that skill, but by that point, everybody else had moved on to other stuff. And I just thought, okay, what is wrong with me that I can't do this? I must be dumb. I must be a bad person. We all look at what is normalized in society, we compare ourselves to those standards, and we feel like we're inferior. So we're often punching above our weight, trying to achieve these standards set by neurotypicals, but we can't do it at the pace that is expected of us. So we naturally start to internalize ableism, feeling like we're bad or defective for not being able to do it. But of course, we know as adults, getting, later on a neurodivergence diagnosis, that there was a reason, but for that period of our childhood, we suffered and labored under this belief that we were somehow bad. And it's a heavy burden to bear. And this sense of inferiority means we're constantly reaching for a sense of recognition, to be believed that we're not bad and all totally bad, and to get prizes and awards. And many of us become achievers. We overfunction to get that attention. And I remember being the consummate pick-me, always raising my hand in class because I wanted to share my knowledge, but also wanting to get recognition or praise and to feel like I was right. Not because I wanted to beat anybody, but because I felt like I had to prove something to myself constantly. And if I proved it to other people, fine. I was conscious that being such a pick-me and always having the answer made people think, oh, teacher's pet, oh, he's annoying, oh, he knows everything, he's a know-it-all. I wasn't concerned so much with that, but I wanted to be right. The idea of some kind of validation, I thirsted after it. And I would see other people get praised for academic or athletic achievements, and athletic achievements is like the primary thing in Australian culture where I grew up. It's a very sports-oriented working class culture, and that was kind of the bar. I think it was never spoken outright, even in school, but it was a high bar, and it was people who achieved in that tract of life were perceived to be superior in some ways. And I could never do that because my motor skill difficulties made it difficult. But I still wanted that recognition. I still wanted the praise. I still wanted to be validated. I still wanted to be able to achieve all these things. And I'd fantasize endlessly. Maladaptive daydreaming with ADHD, inattentive subtype, very prevalent. I would just daydream about succeeding and being picked and being successful. And that legacy carried over into my adulthood with perfectionism, with overachieving, with always having to be busy. And I wonder if you struggled with this desire, this pick-me-like desire to be recognized and to be validated. And how's it shown up in your life as a child? And how's it carried over into your adult life? Do you struggle with this desire for recognition and validation? I would love to hear from you.